This is Joseph Coco at MoCCA Fest 2014 on behalf of Becca Hilburn's Art Process blog, Keep On Truckin' Now to Soup. If you could introduce yourself, please.
My name is Mark Pate.
All right.
I'm the illustrator for Rick Flash and the Inventions.
All right, Mark. And is Rick Flash what's bringing you to MoCCA Fest this year?
Yes, it is. This is a book that my brother and I have been working on since we were in I was in the second grade. We started building this world of characters, and so we're finally kind of trying to put something together with it. My brother lives in Arizona, so he's the author, and so he writes up the scripts and sends it to me, and then I illustrate it out.
That's great. So you've been kind of mulling around the story for a little while now, and it's finally coming to fruition, basically.
Yeah.
So there weren't really a whole lot of kinks to be worked out by this point in the process.
Not by this point. No, it was fairly tight at this point. Yeah.
Okay. And is this debuting at MoCCA Fest, or it's been in print? How long has it been in print?
It's been in print for a couple months. We've been what we did was I drew up all the pages, and we started just posting them online one by one. And we printed out this book, and it's been available online at rickflash.com for a couple months now as the pages have been posting. And then so all of issue number 1 is up, and we're rolling on issue number 2 now on the website.
That's great. So you plan on continuing to release the pages as you finish them up online? Are you envisioning this as more of a webcomic or more of a physical comic that you just want to make available online?
You know, I personally just like physical books myself. I read some webcomics, but I prefer the physicality. But I know that webcomics is where it's coming going.
Yeah.
So I have no problem posting it online. So it's the easiest way to get it out to the most people. So I'm very okay with it.
Yeah, by all means. So when I approached you, you had mentioned a particular charity that you were raising money for.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're keeping some of the profits for yourself, correct? Or is this? It's all going to the charity.
Going, yep.
Okay, that's great.
You know, I have a job I'm taking care of, so that's fine. So I love the idea of Rick Flash being able to do some kind of actual good instead of fictional good in the world.
Yeah.
And so this charity Crew Inner City is it's a nonprofit group that partners with churches all over New York City, and what they do is they distribute food and clothing and just living essentials to these churches, and the church leaders then distribute it to the families in their neighborhoods that they know need it, for sure.
Right.
So I've done some volunteering with them for the past few years, and I just kind of like what they do a lot. So I partnered up with them in this to try to raise a little bit of money and a little bit of awareness. So.
Yeah, that's great. So have you found that people are more willing to purchase the comic, considering it's going to a charity?
Yeah, definitely. That was, it's a little bit of good for them, good for me kind of a deal for sure. Yeah, it gives people a little bit more incentive to pick it up. Yeah.
So I know you said you've been involved with the church for a little while. How did you essentially come to the decision to have all of the profits go to the charity?
You know, it was just.
Is this something you'd planned when you initially started the comic, or you just realized it would be a good idea while producing it?
When I initially started the comic, I definitely didn't want it to necessarily be all for me or my brother. Again, I say I really do love the idea of it doing some actual good, as opposed to just providing a little bit more money for me, which I just don't care enough about. So it wasn't necessarily a plan all along to partner up with this charity. I'm just the most closely connected to them, so it just made sense.
Okay. And is your background in? I realize you don't necessarily make comics for a living, but you're certainly proficient at it.
Thanks.
Is your background in? These pages are beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Is your background in illustration or sequential arts? How did you come to the decision to make a comic?
You know, when I was going through high school and college, I've always loved comic books. I started reading them when I was in about the second grade, and when I was in high school and college, I really started pursuing art because I started drawing my own comics in the second grade and just kind of kept it up. And I eventually got a bachelor's degree in studio art, which is actually the cover. This is the original drawing for the cover. It's charcoal on wood, so it's more like the portraiture style is kind of my primary medium.
Yeah.
But I just like.
I mean, that definitely comes through in the comic.
But I've never been much for like the gallery art scene necessarily. Like I love this world way more. And so
well, you get to engage with your fans a lot more. I feel like, and in fine art, the artist is put on a bit of a pedestal, and
I just like entertainment honestly a lot more. And so I just naturally gravitated back to this kind of arena. So,
okay, that makes sense. Like I was saying, I love some of the ink work that you have here. Are you working traditionally or digitally?
It is all traditional. The pages themselves are the figures are all pen and ink, and then the backgrounds are charcoals.
Oh. Yeah. All of the teams are gone. That's not even.
And so it's all drawn on Bristol board and then scanned and add the letters in Illustrator later. So,
yeah, I don't think there's too many people hand lettering anymore. So.
My hands are way too shaky for that.
Too much coffee.
Exactly.
So is there any advice you could give to someone who's considering donating the profits of their comics to a charity? I mean, obviously most people approach it from the spectrum of they have a church or a particular charity in mind, and they just want to help them out, and giving away their work to profit the charity is a good way to do that. But for someone who's just interested in maybe giving a bit of their profit to a charity, how would they go about forming that sort of partnership?
I think it's just got to be kind of a heart-led deal, and I don't know. Like I feel like it's got to come from a place of like a servant's heart rather than being out for yourself necessarily.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that like when you take that position, and you're gonna kind of surround yourself in that environment anyway, so it'll kind of come about organically for sure. But in the end, it kind of comes down to again like what's put on your heart, like what are you passionate about, and like you'll get connected to something for sure. So.
Okay, the last question I had, just as a little bit of a backwards icebreaker, is are you going to have to fill out a tax form for Rick Flash for tabling here? Because it's for charity? I'm just kind of curious.
No, I don't think so, because I do know that there's like a level of income you have to make from something to pay taxes, and I'm definitely not going to hit that level.
Yeah, I know some conventions, they'll pass out state tax forms basically, like at the beginning of the convention, and say you have to report any of your earnings for state tax income. I guess MoCCA Fest is a little more hush hush about it. Just you can do it. You don't need to worry a whole lot about it.
I mean, like for the sake of the interview, I will pay every tax that I have to pay.
Of course. So, where can we find Rick Flash online for those interested in following up with the comic?
It's pretty easy. It's just rickflash.com.
That's what I was like.
And so right now we got the entire first issue and the first 12 pages of the second issue online.
All right, and we could also find information about the charity on that website?
No, actually the charity itself can be seen on, it's called Crew Inner City. They recently changed their name from something else. And so the website right now is hlicnyc.org.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good MoCCA Fest.
Well, thank you very much.